I have been having emotional issues, maybe if you want to call it that. I've been kind of feeling depressed. I need to lean in more so I can use my microphone. Um, but I've been sad. I've had a couple of anxiety attacks, and just a little bit of that. And this weekend was kind of odd. I don't remember what it entailed, but I went on a drive with my kid's father yesterday, and that in itself is very therapeutic for me. Oh my gosh, my words. Um, we go off in the country, not on the city streets or anything, because we enjoy the country. And so we kind of drive out and get lost. But this man is never lost. He has an internal GPS in his head. But we could drive anywhere and he could find his way back without using maps. But we did that. We went to a discounted store and looked around. And that was about it. We were gone maybe 4 hours. And that really helps me quite a bit because I'm going in and out of depression. I don't want medication. And as I was going to say, the anxiety medicine is enough. I don't want depression medicine on top of that. I feel that if I get too bad depressed, that I'll seek therapy first. Um, but yeah, I was going to go outside today. I actually did, sorry. I keep seeing posts that our moon has disappeared, that the comet slash, what do you call that? Home ship, mothership came in, and then our moon disappeared, and so did the mothership slash comet, whatever. It disappeared. And so I walked outside before I started this video, and I'm looking in the sky where I think I've always seen it, and I didn't see it. But I'll be going back out tonight because I want to stargaze. Um, it's beautiful. The weather's beautiful, and the sky is the color blue that I really like. It's not like a really light blue, and it's not really dark. It's kind of a medium, if that, I can't explain. It's just a medium blue. I just love it when the sky is that color. I guess because it seldomly is that color. Maybe. I don't know. I guess. I don't know. Um, so nothing new. I can't remember where I left off in my last video. I know that my bed thumper entity came back, and when I become aware that they were here, I looked up, didn't see them, and my sleeping pills had kicked in, and I had the mentality of, when I look up, you're going to go away. In which, with the bed thumper, I should not have thought that, because this entity stuck around. Stuck around. He stayed there. Stuck? Is that right? Is that a real word? He stuck around. Oh my gosh. See, my cognitive impairment, my words, I'm so sorry. I bet some of you think I'm really stupid, especially if I don't explain why I talk like that. I bet you're like, oh my God, this girl's nuts. Um, what was I saying? Oh my gosh. Oh, so anyway, last night I become aware that both legs from the knees down were constantly vibrating, a real soft vibration. And it started really, really softly. And I only become aware because I think something distracted me from my phone, and I felt it. So then I put the phone down. I fell asleep for probably just 30 minutes, and I woke wide up. I was wide awake, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the heck is going on? I've not done this ever in my life, being on these pills, my original sleeping pills, the ones I'm not supposed to be taking. But I didn't take a third one yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I just stayed awake. And my ex had to go to work at 3 in the morning. And when he left, I got up. I did laundry. I did the dishes. And I ate. Then my sugar dropped, which is weird because when I eat, it doesn't drop normally. Not that quick. And then somewhere in between there, I become exhausted. And I came in here and went to sleep for 2 hours. 7, 8, no, 4 hours. And I'm wide awake. Um, Also, about entities that came and visited me. I don't remember what day, I'm sorry. But it was at night and they woke me up somehow. But I looked around and I seen very short beings, very short, probably gray shorts, between 3 and 3.5 feet tall. And then I don't remember if I made a video of this, but I had the geometric shapes in blue. It was a bluish green, a turquoise film. And I don't know why this happens, but when I'm visited by these entities, not all the time are they still. Let's just say one's fixated in this position at the foot of my bed, not moving. He may wave or whatever, but that's it. He's not doing anything but standing there. And some will just drift away, and then others will pop up, and it's like they're what do you call it? Revolving? I guess that's a good word. But I had a bunch of grays in the room with the greenish turquoise film. And one was stationary for a minute. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, look at those almond eyes. Oh, that's so amazing. And I waved. And it looked like he was shocked that I noticed him. And then I saw a couple, then he drifted off. And then others were going by. And it looked like they were at, this just came to me. It looked like they were at a dashboard. I guess like a UFO, maybe. Um, but either that or some kind of machinery. I don't know what they were doing. But they were all grays. There's, I think, about five of them. Unless that one just kept rotating around and I kept seeing the same one. Um, but I love it when I'm able to get their form. Now, I didn't see a body. I saw the neck and the head. And the head was big and came down to a small point and had the almond eyes. And you could see a slight neck. But that's all that I seen was just that. And I think that's all of the visits that I remember. I feel that if I don't write these down within a week, I forget them. And that's because of my memory issue. I used to be able to remember them for months. But if they were minor visits, like the ones I just told you, they tend to disappear quickly. Also, I have to share that I started my book this morning. I wrote 13 pages, but I feel like I need to edit the crap out of it. I'm not done with it, of course, but it's like I skipped a lot of things. I become impatient and skipped a lot of information, but I had the mentality of thinking, I'm going to come back and add that, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to edit that. Um, but I just can't help but to think that my life is not that important to be putting in a book. But I will have to say, there's been books that I've read that talked about a person's way they were raised, and it was odd to me. But it kept my attention and it was interesting. Mine is kind of different, as in mistreatment, all sorts of mistreatment. I didn't go in, well, never mind. I did go in extreme detail on a couple of instances of that occurrence. Um, but I just couldn't help but think that I'm not important. And that comes from my mom. My mom saying I was stupid, sick in the head. Um, I can't remember if she ever said, you'll never amount to nothing. I cannot remember. I know a lot of my childhood I blocked off. I almost said blocked out, which probably means the same thing. Um, but yeah, I started it 13 pages and I stopped because I knew that I had to get some laundry done and stuff, and I wanted to get started early. But once I got started on it, I started getting tired. But anyway, I got kind of deterred away from the book writing and thought, I'm going to stop and pick up later on another day. I'm going to take my time going through it because there's a lot. There's specific steps of me growing up that I went through, and my starseed self popped out randomly, clear up to my awakening in 2020. But I didn't know back then. All I had was visions, and I felt souls and stuff like that, which I thought everybody did. Um, but where was I going? Oh, I didn't. I thought everybody did it. It was no big deal. Never talked about it or anything. But I didn't know it was a star seed. And I left out me being agnostic. I need to put these in my notes because going through the mistreatment that I went through, I become agnostic because I was thinking if there was a God, why would he allow all of that mistreatment for animals and children and even men and women? I shouldn't leave those out. And until I come into my awakening and learned that we signed up for that in our contracts. We wanted to go through that to see what it felt like. It had nothing to do with God, it was our choice. And we stuck that right in our soul contract. Yes, I want to be mistreated and go through this because I never have. And I want to know what it's like and what it feels like and how I'm going to handle it and what is my lesson coming out of that. That's what we do. And when I realized that, a lot of things started coming to me like, oh, okay. So, somewhere in my soul life, I got together with my going to be stepdad in this life. And either he approached me or I approached him. And he said, hey, I have this lesson to learn. I haven't learned it. I mistreated children and I want to see if I can come out of it this time. Or I approached him and said, hey, I wanted to go through this mistreatment. I've never experienced that before. Can you be my stepdad and do these things? So either way, one of us agreed, or both of us agreed, I don't know, and signed up for that and was like, hey, okay, let's go, you know? And even pets. I would approach a pet, a spirit of a pet, just a soul that can be a soul and say, hey, I in my other lives had mistreated animals so bad and I need to learn my lesson in stopping that. Would you be one of my pets? And they'll say, yeah, sure. On the other side, we're powerful. We are powerful souls and we could do anything, but once we get here on earth, it's like, what were we thinking? This human self is not powerful like my soul self. So, yeah, that's something to think about. But then I realized that God is like one of our guides. He guides us and he helps when asked, although it might not be in the way of helping that you want, but he will help you in the best way that he can to not interfere with our soul contract. And so, yeah, think about that. And I want to add, I've talked about it before, and I want to add that you will see on YouTube quite a bit these people coming on here saying, yeah, I was taken on a ship and they took my eggs and they did all these tests on me that were painful. I did not give them permission to do that. Well, yeah, you did. You sure did. Before you were incarnated, you said to that ET, yes, I know that your population is decreasing due to radiation of these UFOs. You need to replenish and create a bigger population of a hybridization. That's a big word. So yeah, come and take my eggs. and create some hybrid children of mine, and you have extra family on your side, and hey, let's just do it. But since we're born under the veil of forgetfulness, we forget that we even did that. um, I have learned that they had taken one of my children. I know they've taken more of my eggs, more so than my children. I was pregnant, and it was in development. It was developing, whatever. And they came at some point and took it, and it was called a blighted ovum. Although the physicians doesn't say, oh, the ETs came and got it, because they don't even know. But when they call it a blighted ovum, which means everything is there except the baby. And what happens is the ETs come and they somehow take that baby out of your uterus, leave everything there, and they take the baby with them. Yeah. And so on the doctor's end, they do an ultrasound, and they will say, I don't see a baby. You've never had a baby in there. That's called a blighted ovum. Well, no, that's called the ETs taking your child. Um, but they do come and take your eggs, and they'll do it in their little pastry dish kind of thing with their reproductive things. I don't know how to sperm, I guess. I don't know. And they make our children. Uh, but that was the only one that I know for sure, without a doubt, that they came and took. And I'm really okay with it, because I don't want my kids here on earth. I have four already. And I'm like, this is such a harsh place. Why did I have kids, and why would I want to put them through this? Um, but it's not that, it's them. They came to me and they chose me as their parent, and it was supposed to work out, and it did. So you have to look at life like that. It's kind of insane if you really think about it. And sometimes it's really hard to wrap your brain around all of that. But if you ever get bored one day, just sit and think of this stuff and let your mind just go. Ask your guides and your guardians assistance on knowing and comprehending this information, and they will help you. They might even, hey, you might be thumbing through Amazon one day, and a book will just pop up with that information. And if you're paying attention, you're going to see that information you have a question about, and you're supposed to buy that book. That's how they start sending you things of saying, okay, here's this to read, or this is for you to see, or something. They do things like that. And I'll give you another example. Shortly after my awakening, I started realizing that the number signs like 111, 222 were actually a real thing. It's your guides or soul family or whatever saying, hey, we're here with you, or we're here with you going through this difficult time, or whatever. I was at work, I was working at Marshall's, and I remember sitting there thinking of all of this that I was experiencing, because it was fairly new. And I remember just thinking, where do I fit? What do I do? And where do I go from here? And all this stuff, because there was nobody in the line. So I was standing there at the counter, and I happened to look right in front of me, and there was picture frames with quotes in them. And there was this one at head level right in front of me, just sitting there like, look at me. And it said, you are right where you need to be. And my jaw dropped. And I just wanted to say, oh my God, they just gave me a sign. I just recognized my first sign. And that made me excited. But the rest of things was, I was led to Reddit. That gave me information of things that I was seeing during my awakening. Books. People were telling me to buy books. Stephen Greer books. Dolores Cannon. Never even heard of Dolores Cannon. And once I got her book, I was like, oh my God. That rings bells big time. Lots and lots of bells. And so I started buying her book. I'd gotten her school and learned hypnosis, and so many things started coming out. It was a book after book, and information after information. People were even brought to me to give me information I was seeking. It will happen to you too if you ask, because your guides cannot interfere until you ask and you say, hey, can you please help me? Be specific. Don't just say, can you help me? Then they're going to be looking at you like, with what? With what? Just tell me. Um, so if you tell them and you're specific, hey, can you help me gather information that I need to know about my growth in this starseed thing, then they'll start sending you these things. Or you could say, can you help me with information on meditation? Then YouTube will start throwing out meditational videos and music and all kinds of things. And that's how it works. And I never knew that. I never knew that until I found that I was awakening and I was a starseed. I used to laugh at my mom, because she believed in ETs. I'm like, this woman's crazy. She believed in fairies too, and I remember thinking, she is crazy. I've said that more than once. But I was just like, this woman's lost it. But she hadn't. But, me knowing who and what she was didn't help. And I really did think she was losing it. But now, I don't think, I think I told her the last time I spoke to her that I was a starseed, and ETs come to me and stuff. So yeah, and I look at my life now and I'm like, what a wonder. The things that I'm going through, who would have ever guessed? And I get so many confirmations that these beings come to me and they're real, and I'm not losing my mind, and it's not the medication I'm on. I'm not hallucinating. It's actually happening. And they love me. And I feel loved. And all my life, I've often wondered, will I ever feel love? I've never felt it from anybody because I was with the wrong people. And I actually feel love from these beings. I feel them, I hear them, I smell them. It's so fascinating because I smell frankincense quite a bit. And something tells me that's my soulmate, Ezekiel. We were many things together, but I think the last things we were together was Seraphim. And I love that man so much. I don't remember him, but I have all this love. It's crazy. It's so crazy how you can love somebody that you don't remember. And you look at yourself and you're like, why? How can I love somebody without knowing them? But then your soul's like, yes, you do. You know them. You know every part of them. And then you stop and you think that these beings love you so much, and you sit and you think, these extraterrestrials are coming to me because they love me and they worry me, or they worry about me and they want to help. Who am I to be able to feel that kind of love? Well, evidently I'm important. And I'm happy that I'm important because we all are important and we should feel that way. And not all of us do. And so this is why I feel that my ET family is the only positive thing in my life. Saying that, of course, my life is important too. But it's like every day I feel like I open my eyes because I know I'm going to see them. And it's positive and loving and perfect. And it gives me so much drive to just open my eyes the very next morning, knowing that I might have a chance of seeing them and feeling them and hearing them. When I first had my awakening, I was a night owl. I stayed up all hours of the night. And when these things started coming to me, I got ready to go to bed at 8. And I forced myself, enjoyed going to bed at 8 because I knew I was going to see them again. So that was enormous to me. I need to go to bed at 8 because if they wake me up, and they always did, or it was me waking myself up, I knew I probably wouldn't get enough sleep. So I'd go to bed early so I could see them and get enough sleep. Um, but yeah, the visits have decreased, or at least I think they have, as in the things that I see. But I do feel that while I'm sleeping at night, I do leave and go with them and do things. I sense that quite a bit here lately. And I want to say I just saw an entity go across. I'm not sure. It was a white blur, so it could be. Um, so yeah, I noticed I got two people in here. I hope you guys are well. I thank you for watching. I'm not sure who you are because I'm on my cell phone. I don't know how to connect my cell phone to my laptop, which is a MacBook, to use it for live. But my ex, his internet sucks. And so twice I tried to connect my camera and go live, and it cut me off twice. And I don't want to do that. So if I was on my laptop, I could see who was in here and call you by name. But I can only see your name if you message me in the messages. And I don't know if everybody can leave a message. I'm not that experienced on it, so I'm not sure. So I hope you guys are doing well. I love you guys so, so much. I'm going to end this here, and I missed you. If I don't talk to you for a couple of days, I do miss you. And I'm going to send all of you love, light, and peace. Bye.